Welcome everyone to the ELLICSR Kitchen, our live cooking at home class. We have a really exciting class for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jeremy Capone. I am the wellness chef, and I am joined, as always, by Stephanie Gladman.
Hello, and I am the registered dietitian. So in our usual classes, we always pick a side effect that's related to cancer or cancer treatment, and talk about ways to manage it through food and certain ingredients today. So our side effect of the month is constipation. So not a fun topic, but can generally cause a lot of distress. And constipation can happen for a number of reasons. It can be from, certain medications that somebody's taking. It can be caused by stress or anxiety, possibly sometimes not enough exercise, maybe cancer itself. But there are a few nutrition-related reasons. So sometimes it's from not eating enough fiber, which is super key, maybe not drinking enough fluids. And so in today's class, we're going to go over some specific tips in order to help manage that constipation through food. Now, as always, I like to disclose that, before making big changes, it's always great to talk to your healthcare team, your doctor, because sometimes there are certain things that the team could do in terms of maybe, changing a medication, etc. So without further ado, let's start with our first recipe, which I believe is a muffin. And I love this recipe because I'm all about batch cooking, making things really easy for yourselves. And although maybe you're not grabbing and going to certain places, it's still just great to take something out of the freezer. So let us know, Jer.
Yes, and I know someone's asking about the volume. We're going to try to fix that. Nat, awesome, perfect. I think we're good. We might be a little bit better now. Yes, we're going to jump into the first recipe. Also, happily belated Family Day, Valentine's Day, Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year as well. We're going to throw that out there as well. And we're going to jump right into our first recipe. So we're going to be making more of a savory muffin, so something a little bit different here. But again, super easy. And these are, like Steph mentioned, these are fantastic as like a little snack on the go. So put the work in once, and then you can sort of freeze the muffins later. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down to my ingredients here. Mise en place. Beautiful. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our wet ingredients. So in my bowl, I'm going to simply crack 2 eggs. A little trick is I always crack an egg on a flat surface. I know most people may have learned to crack it like on the edge of something. This is a little Jacques Pepin trick. So cracking it on an edge might sometimes push shells into the egg. So if you just give it a nice crack on a flat surface, it might help prevent that. Okay, anyways, 2 eggs in our bowl. And then we are going to add, we're going to actually whisk that up. Get a fork. Okay, just whisk it up just to get some air. The more air that we incorporate now into the eggs, it's going to actually help make a much fluffier muffin as well. Okay, so don't skip out on this step. Make sure you use a whisk or a fork in a big bowl and push it from side to side so that we can incorporate as much air as possible. Okay, next ingredient, we're going to add about a cup of milk. You can use buttermilk, you can use regular milk, you can use, like an almond milk or soy milk. If you don't drink dairy, you can do that as well. Really easy subs. Okay. mix that quickly. All right, that is done. Now we are going to incorporate some of our dry ingredients. Okay, so in here I have about a cup of, this is just whole wheat flour. You can use any flour here, and about a tablespoon of baking powder. So I'm going to mix that together. And then one of the key stars of our recipe is oat bran. Okay, and I know Steph's going to talk about that, but I'm going to add about a quarter cup of the oat bran in here as well, and just a little pinch of salt. Okay, and that is our dry ingredients. So pretty straightforward. Now you can season it up with a little bit of garlic powder, cayenne, whatever else you like. These are savory muffins, so you can kind of play with that a little bit, but we're keeping it pretty simple. Okay, and once our dry mix is done, I'm going to add that to the wet. Okay.
So easy, all these things just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add it to the wet, and then I'm going to also add about a cup of cheddar cheese, grated cheddar, in there. Again, you can add any type of cheese you want. If you don't want cheese, you don't have to add cheese. You know, this is just going to give some great flavor there. And then some just roughly chopped green onions. Okay. And that's pretty much it. The only thing I want to do here now is mix it until it's just combined. It's really important not to over mix, otherwise they're going to become really, really tough.
So what I wanted to say was, for constipation, like I said, the number one ingredient you want to concentrate on is that fiber. All right. So now I will say, you know, sometimes you do need, you know, some sort of medication like a laxative, and that's something to obviously discuss with your doctor. But since we're doing a cooking show, we're going to talk about food ingredients. So, you know, for that mild constipation, eating more fiber might help. So you really want to make sure that you're making high fiber choices. So as Jared mentioned, that oat bran, really great idea. Okay. So in terms of any types of grains, you know, making sure you have some more barley or brown rice, quinoa, bulgur, because these are things that are higher in fiber compared to, let's say, white rice or any type of refined grain. So we'll get into like different vegetables in a bit. But what I do want to say is that fiber is part of the plant that our body just naturally does not break down. Okay. So, but it can help make your stool softer, right, and easier to pass. So this is really great. The thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to also make sure that you drink lots of fluids, because if you don't drink enough, this might make constipation worse. Okay. So again, just a little tip to think about: if you are taking different types of medication, you do want to make sure that you ask your doctor, like, if eating more fiber is right for you. Okay. So things like different opioid pain medications, having more fiber might not be the right thing for you. Again, one thing to note is that if you were told that you have a bowel obstruction, right, which is basically a blockage that stops your stool from passing, again, check with your healthcare team if adding more fiber to your diet is what you need to do. Okay, so there are some caveats to this, but if you do experience kind of that mild constipation, you know, having more fiber, such as these wonderful savory muffins. And as you can see, it's super easy to put together, and you can for sure freeze them, which, you know, is one of the key things that I always say for any type of recipe. These are great. You could have as a breakfast, as a snack, even if you're not, you know, sometimes people experience like pain or loss of appetite from their constipation, right? It's so uncomfortable. So having kind of like these little snacks and, you know, little amounts of food throughout the day is really beneficial. All right, back to you, Jer.
Mix until combined, and then you can put them into your muffin, your little lined muffin trays. So that's what I've done here. And what I do is a little cheat, because I don't usually have muffin papers lying around, is I just get regular parchment paper and I just cut them into large squares. You can even crumple them up a little bit and then tuck them into the little muffin trays, and they're a little rough and ragged, but they work really, really well. Okay, so that's going to go into the oven. I'm filled it up most of the way, probably about 1 centimeter down from the top. And I'm going to go into a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Everyone's oven is going to be a little bit different, but what you're looking for is when you insert a knife or a toothpick into the middle of the muffin, it should come out fairly clean. Okay, so we're going to put that in. Yes, we've made some advance. It won't make you wait that long. And here we go. So here are our, after about, for me it took about 25 minutes. And you're going to get some really nice sort of golden brown crust on top. Oh, sorry, 1 second, kettle. So they're going to get nice and golden brown. And because of that cheddar cheese, you're going to get some of these little nuggets of cheddar sort of bubbling out over the top, just so you can kind of see inside. Really, really nice and fluffy. And again, this was with the oat bran and the whole wheat flour. And you're going to get some of those little nuggets of cheese kind of running through as well. Super, super, super tasty. You can obviously enjoy as they are. They'll last about 3 days, 4 days in the fridge. But what I like to do is just freeze them individually, put them in the freezer, and then when you want one on the go, just pop it into the oven or microwave and warm it up. And you have this really, really nice kind of savory little muffin ready to eat. It's really healthy and it's delicious.